Recently, I was told about a politician whose entire election message is so filled with hate and malice towards a certain people that everything else is shadowed, and just brazenly going about proclaiming his message and lumping everybody into the people that he's against into one thing, and that they're all evil. And the question was posed, what do you do with someone that is like this? And they're clearly not thinking correctly. And the other thing to understand is there's two ways to build yourself up. One is either by actually being good, and the other is by knocking other people down. So you know you're dealing with somebody already whose ego is way out of whack, and who this politician themselves is clearly lacking, because to have to go from the stance of knocking other people down, you know that you're already less than, you're the weaker person. And so it's already coming from a weak stance. So that's one thing you have to realize when you're dealing with people that are filled with hate and malice. They are already coming from weakness, and their hate and malice is just a symptom. It's like the small little bird that's puffing out his feathers when really there's not a lot there. Now, a lot of people then go and they'll get very angry and very upset, and they will fight against this individual and what they said, or the organization, and they will devote a lot of energy towards that. And one thing to understand is you only have so much energy. What are you going to do with it? Now, the common reaction is to fight against the person or organization that is spreading hate. And the rule is, what you resist persists. So if you're putting all this energy into fighting against something that is negative and filled with malice and hate, that is then taking away energy and efforts towards something that is valid and that is worthy of fighting for. So there was a saying by a famous architect that the best way to create a new reality is simply by creating a new reality that by default makes the old reality null and void. It's just not even an issue. It's kind of like when CDs came out after the tape players. The CDs didn't sit there and try and fight against the tape players and, oh, you're not as good and not as high tech as us. The CDs were just better. It just by default created a new reality, and that's how everything is. That becomes a new reality. So if you're putting all of your energy into fighting against something, you don't want to acknowledge it, or you don't want to ignore it. You do want to acknowledge it. However, you just look at it, thank you very much, and I'm choosing something different. And then you put your energy into something that brings real solutions. So for the example of this politician with his hateful message, put the energy into a politician that brings real solutions, or perhaps be that politician if you're not seeing a politician with real solutions, or working with organizations that bring real solutions, because by default, with the actual needs being met, it makes the one that's old and hateful and not really helping anybody other than getting people riled up null and void. And so many studies have been done that when humanity is in a cooperative state, no matter what our differences, what our religion, what our color, what anything, that is something that everybody prospers more. And there's a lot of study done on competition versus cooperation. In cooperation is what has led to more progress. So competition is an old antiquated thing that you will not get the same positive and advancing results with competition. And there's a lot of study behind that. So don't take my word for it, study it yourself. But in response to the question that was received in what do you do with people that have such hate-filled messages, redirect your energies towards things that bring solid solutions to people. And some of those solutions are in perhaps protecting from the hateful messages or actions done by other people, but it is also bringing a real solution. So I hope that that helps. You're welcome to ask any questions, and here's to a beautiful day for everyone. Take care.